Dear friends, I'm here to talk about a testimony. At the same time, I'm here to give you and extend an opportunity for you to give and make a difference. Let me start with the testimony first. Last week, about 1:30 a.m. in the night, I was awakened. I couldn't sleep, and I was led to call a friend in Paris, Italy. And this friend, I knew him for a couple of years. We write, and he's a Tamil brother, Sri Lankan Tamil brother, who works in Paris. So I was led to give him a call. I called him and I asked him, "How are you doing?" And the moment I asked him, his voice, it was pretty low. I can feel that something was wrong, and I insisted, "What's wrong with you?" He said, "I got an eviction notice today. I couldn't pay my rent, and I'm in a troubled time in my life. I'm in a tough time in my life. My children and my wife are far away where I work and provide for them. I was working in a restaurant here, but all the restaurants are shut down right now. There is no business here. I couldn't pay my rent. I don't know. I'm going to become homeless in another a day or two." I told him right away. How about, I said, "Give me time. I will get back to you in 24 hours, and we can do something." So because I felt like God was leading me to call him, so I said, "Why not? Why not? Why not? I'll write about this on Facebook." So I went on Facebook. I wrote about this on Facebook, and I said, "Hey guys, is there anyone in Europe who can give $400 to a brother to pay his rent and make a difference?" Maybe people might have thought it was a scam because somebody might have hacked my whatever. Nobody responded, not even a single comment or whatever. And I felt, oh, this is weird. Anyway, the whole day I was praying and I said to God, "God, if you can open the eyes of Hagar and Ishmael to see a well in the wilderness, you can do that to me." I said, "God, show me where there is a well, where this brother's need can be met." Anyway, that afternoon I was reminded about a pastor in Wisconsin who pastors a church in Milwaukee. I called him and I said, "Pastor, there is a situation like this, and if you can give something," I said, "give me a little and I'll put a little and then we can make a difference." He said, "How much do you want?" And I said, 400 euros. He said, "Wait a minute, what is 400 euros in USD?" I said, "I don't know." He said, "Let me check that quickly." So he quickly went on his computer, he checked it, $431. He said, "John, now let me tell you the testimony of this." He said, "Our church, we raise money to support some of the missions during this COVID 19. And after all that was done, there was $440 that remained as a balance. It was an excess. Someone gave the money a little later, and there was a $440 with us." And he said, "I prayed yesterday night about whom should I give this $440. And today afternoon, you have given me a call with a need of $431. With all the bank charges and conversion, it will be $440. He said, "John, let's make a difference and let's do it right away." And then we were able to pay the rent for a brother in Paris, Italy. I was so worried because when I ask people and I say, "Hey, a friend in Paris needs money," everyone is going to be like, "Uh huh. Oh, he lives in Paris already. He has got a job in Paris. Man, he's not in a third world. He's not in a poor situation. He's in Paris." See, that's what I thought. I thought, who's going to think about a guy in Paris? But God sees your need. He does not see whether you're in the first world or the second world or the third world. And that gave me such a satisfaction. And I felt so good that we can make a difference. And we can give like how God will give, how God will meet us at our right point of need. And this happened. And I want to tell you a story of when I was a kid, when I was like 7, 8 years old. I used to save every money that my relatives give. There is a tradition in India when the relatives come home and they will give you money if you're a kid. So all the money the relatives give and the change that my parents leave, I'll start putting that in a piggy bank. So I kept saving that. In my days, the piggy bank used to be a clay jar. Usually it's made out of a terracotta or a clay. It's a pottery, and it was a piggy bank. And I'm 7, 8 years old. One day there was a pastor visiting our house, a very old man fully white hairs, and he used to have a bicycle. He used to ride his bicycle. His bicycle had boxes around them which had gospel tracts, and all these boxes were filled with Bible verses. He wrote the verses on his bicycle. Everywhere on his bicycle it was Bible verse. He wore a badge with a Bible verse. And I told my mom, I feel like giving this piggy bank to this man. I was 7, 8 years old. And my mom was like, John, you're so young. I said, yeah, I feel like I want to do this. So my mom decided to give that piggy bank to him right away. He said, I want to break open it because I have a testimony. So this man broke open it and he started weeping because that's exactly the money he needed, and he was praying to God. I was a 7 or 8 year old kid. Here's the deal. He said God met my needs through a kid, through a little boy. I thought about God feeding 5,000. There was a boy who gave what he had. I want to encourage you. Giving gives such pleasure and such joy. There is nothing makes you so satisfied as giving. It's more honorable and more satisfactory and more pleasant to give than to receive. And I want to right now extend an opportunity for another pastor in India, in Dindivanam, in a place called Dindivanam. His wife is pregnant and they've been having a tough time in the last 3 months, especially with the COVID-19 situation and everything. We want to make a difference. We want to pay for his baby delivery, and I'm going to tell you another testimony of what God did in my life. And also we want to support some of the North Indian migrant workers in the southern part of India who's having such difficult times, and I'm going to extend an opportunity for you to give. I have another testimony from my own life about the delivery of a baby. When Amanda was giving birth, I was not in America. I was in India. I couldn't come to America. Satyan was born here, and that was a huge sum for me to meet the expenses in America, especially living in India. The expense we thought was going to be around $20,000, and that was a huge money for us at that point. But at the same time, 3 of my another friends in India was pregnant, and they were going to give birth. And I decided, how about I pay for them or make a difference for their delivery? So I called all those friends and I said, I want to send you some money for your baby birth, and I see God's going to do something for me. Here's the deal. We did that. And my bill in America was humongous, because when Satyan was born, he was born with a condition where his fat cannot become sugar. So he was kept in the ICU for a week. A week in ICU was a lot of money, and we didn't have insurance. So we were given a bill for more than $20,000, and that was a debt on our head. We started praying about it. Within a year, that money was waived for us. They said you don't have to pay that money. I keep thinking about it. What you do unto others will be done unto you. Here's another opportunity. When you lend to the poor, you're actually giving a loan to God. That's what Proverbs says. When you give unto the poor, you're giving a loan to God, and God will repay it for you. Guys, here's a brother in need. If you want to make a difference, if you're in America, contact me. If you're in India, I'm going to put a phone number right here. If you're in Malaysia, I'm going to put Pastor Reverend Sylvester's number there. 3 days ago, I had a revival meeting. I was preaching online for Pastor Sylvester's church in Johor Bahru, Malaysia. And I asked his permission. Can we speak about this need in India on your live telecast? He said, Pastor John, there are many people in my church that are in need because they have lost job, because Singapore is shut down right now, or Singapore is having a crisis. Many people depend on Singapore for jobs, but go ahead and you can speak about it. If God speaks in the hearts of people, we can make a difference. His church is just 1 year old, and they gave 2,000 Malaysian ringgits. That's $500 US for this particular cause. Friends, I want to say this to you. There is still a need for the pastor's wife's baby birth, the delivery expenses, and also for the migrant workers who are in a crisis. If we can just be a bridge and make a difference, I tell you the satisfaction is something that your words cannot describe. And if you want to be a part of it, I want to extend this opportunity. I'm going to run the phone numbers down here. If you're in America, you can contact me. If you're in India, contact Pastor Cesaron. If you're in Malaysia, contact Pastor Reverend Sylvester. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. May God bless you.